Belle. This movie is downright beautiful. I just had to start this video off by saying that. The best way to describe this is, it's almost like sex for your eyeballs. But in all seriousness, how did I feel about this movie? I'm a little mixed, because there's some things in this movie I fucking love. And then there's other things in this movie where I just scratch my head at. But before we begin with the pros and cons of this movie, I just gotta state one thing. I'm sorry about this for some. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, the bringer of death. I might ruin a couple of your guys' lives by saying this, but this movie does not hold a candle to any of the Studio Ghibli movies. Studio Ghibli, however you want to pronounce it, it does not hold a candle to them. But even with some of the problems in this movie, Belle is an experience. This movie is entertaining to watch because of its animation style. Going from the real world, which is still beautifully animated but has basic sceneries like school, her house, things of that nature, to the grand world of You, which I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost like a futuristic city that looks like it's inside a computer or something. It's insane. And I love how it relies on the animation style to emphasize the grand nature of You. The only nitpick that I would have is that when you get into the virtual reality, all the characters, like Belle for example, are CGI animated, and I don't know how to feel about that. I'm not a big fan of how that looks, but honestly, it's not that bad. It's just a nitpick, and everything else looks amazing, especially the sceneries in the U. But speaking of Belle / Suzu, this character is really interesting. From her tragic experience of losing her mother, to how she copes with it, to her more lonely, anxious lifestyle in school, everything about this character is not only interesting, but very relatable, not only to me, but to a lot of other viewers out there. And honestly, I really enjoyed that. Another thing I love about this movie is its pacing. There are plenty of scenes where it goes for long periods of time without dialogue, and it allows the viewers just to take in everything that's going on with the scene. It allows the drawing style to be the storyteller. From basic things like Suzu's routine to going to school and showing how repetitive it could be, to other things like the montage of experiences she had with her mother. These can lead to powerful moments, and it does a lot in the movie. And that's just the slower moments, because when Suzu goes into the U and becomes famous as her other persona, Belle, the movie kind of ramps up and becomes almost slightly erratic, which makes sense because Suzu and her friend don't know how to handle this situation. They don't know how to handle this sudden explosion of popularity in this virtual reality, and you can just see and feel how Suzu's becoming more flustered to the situation at hand. And the last thing I want to mention about the pros of this movie, and this one's an obvious one other than the animation style of course, and that is the music. God damn! The music in this movie is just straight bangers. And I just love how the music goes hand in hand with the animation style, creating just this lasting memory in my mind. Just such impactful scenes. Like at the end of the movie, and slight spoiler alert ahead if you want to see the movie, go ahead and turn away now. When Belle, at the end of the movie, and her identity is revealed to be Suzu, and she's in front of this entire crowd, and she finds her voice to sing in front of them, because the whole time in this movie, she's lost her voice due to the traumatic experience with her mother, and she struggled throughout the movie to try to find her voice, even while singing as Belle in the virtual world, but not being able to sing in the real world. And then finally, she finds a way to sing as her true self. Like, even though this movie has problems, that's just downright beautiful storytelling. Now on to some of the problems of this movie. The first thing is, I wish they expanded upon the U a little bit more. Visually, everything about it is perfect, but we never know what the U is mainly about. Like, you see celebrities on talk shows and celebrities like Belle, but what does like the average folk do in this fucking virtual reality? Because all they're ever doing is just fucking standing there. Is the U like RuneScape where you could do whatever you want? Or is it like a different MMORPG? I just wish they spent maybe 5 minutes expanding upon the concept of the U, and they had the perfect opportunity to do it when Belle first got into the U and she wasn't famous. You could have had her explore the U and learn everything about it just like the audience would have, or at least just some of it, because we just don't know anything about it. The next problem I have with this movie is the side characters. They're not very interesting, and there are times where the movies try to emphasize their problems a little bit more than like Suzu's problems. Like for example, there's this one part in the movie that lasts like 15 to 20 minutes, and it's Suzu trying to play Cupid and get 2 of her friends in a relationship. Like, I just don't give a shit. The movie does an amazing job on the development of Suzu, and I just wish they stuck with that. instead of distributing some of their time to the side characters that I don't really care about, and a large portion of its time to the Beauty and the Beast subplot, which is my major problem with this movie. I'm gonna be honest, I fucking hate this side plot. It doesn't make any sense. It is literally a generic Walmart version of Disney's Beauty and the Beast. But with Disney's Beauty and the Beast, it made sense. This Beauty and the Beast makes no fucking sense. In the Disney version, Belle was a fucking prisoner at first. That's why she was in that situation to begin with. So when she started to investigate and dig deeper about the Beast, it wasn't out of sheer curiosity. She was assessing and familiarizing herself with her surroundings and her captor. And over a span of time, she realized she had a lot in common with the Beast and saw a different side of him. And that's when she started to fall in love with the Beast. In this movie, Belle first meets the Beast when he attacks her concert. After which Belle is like, I need to investigate and find out who he is. Like, why? As far as you know, he's a terrorist who just attacked your concert. He is well known to being a bad guy, so why fucking find him? It's like seeing a manhunt for a serial killer on the news and then you stumbling across that serial killer and like, I need to investigate him. Maybe he's a decent guy. Like, you would have no reason to suspect that. And every time Belle keeps digging deeper and deeper about the Beast, he lashes out against her. And Belle, for some reason, keeps coming back for more, and it makes no sense. Again, in the Disney version, every time the Beast lashed out against Belle, she lost her trust in him, and it took a while to get it back. But the reason why this kept happening was because both of them were forced to interact with one another. The Beast believed that Belle was the cure to his curse, and Belle was a prisoner. They were both stripped of the freedom of choice, creating this endless loop of interactions. As opposed to this version, which doesn't have anything that's forcing them to interact with one another. So it makes no sense why both of them keep coming back to one another. Like, every time the Beast lashes out against Belle, she keeps coming back, and then when she finally leaves, the Beast comes after her and protects her. Like, why? You have no reason to do that. You literally just told her to fuck off a second ago. So when they finally build connection with one another, it just feels so weird and forced. And I'm not trying to keep drawing comparisons back to the Disney version, because this isn't supposed to be a one-to-one comparison, but that made sense. This doesn't. And I do like the ending of the subplot where Suzu actually helped him in real life. But I feel like they could have implemented that in a better way than creating this entire subplot. Another slight side note, why the fuck is the Beast so well known to being a bad guy? Like, what the hell did he do to garner that reputation? All they said was that he won over 300 matches, and I'm thinking, is PvP illegal? Is that why he's hunted down? They never explain why he's so demonized in the U. But other than that, that's it. Even though this movie has some problems with it, and one major problem with it, I do think Belle is worth watching. It is an experience that, honestly, I haven't seen in a long time. There are moments that are breathtaking from this movie, and honestly, it is not worth missing. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, consider liking, subscribing, and comment below what I should do next. I'll do movies, games, anime, shows, whatever. But again, thank you for watching.